welcome to the Week in Review, the show that brings you up to date with the week that was. Here's a look at the top stories of the week. Export and industrial production rises, but inflation remains a concern. Deustche Bank report details RIL's $27 billion capex plans over the next 4 years. 2D auction fetches government 3,500 crore rupees. This week saw some major economic data being released. To begin with, India's exports grew for a second consecutive month in February by 4.25%. Exports touched $2.26 million after a fall for 8 straight months. Imports during the month increased 2.6% to $41.8 billion, leaving a trade deficit of $14.92 billion in February. At the same time, the country's factory output grew 2.4% in January. The growth output was driven by manufacturing. IIP December had contracted 0.45%. Though factory output showed some improvement, inflation still remains a problem. Retail price inflation increased to 10.91% in February from 10.79% in January. The wholesale price index, or WPI, rose to 6.84% in February from 6.62% in January. Taken together, the data has certainly dampened hopes of a rate cut in the upcoming Reserve Bank of India's monetary policy review. Moving on to the corporate space, Reliance Industries will invest close to $27 billion over the next 4 years across its various businesses. According to a Deustche Bank report, the company, which is on the cusp of its capex cycle, will plow 85% of the total investments into its core businesses. RIL's management expects its money-losing retail venture to break even next fiscal. The analysts of the bank had a meeting with the RIL's joint CFO, who confirmed their bullish outlook for the company's plans for the KG Basin. Next up is news from the telecom sector. The government has managed to garner 3,500 crore rupees after 3 rounds of bidding. There was only one bidder for the CDMA category of spectrum. The earnings were less than what the government had hoped for. Sistema Sham Teleservices was the only bidder for the CDMA spectrum for 8 circles. The company had applied for 11 circles but had bid only for 8. This means it will shut operations in Mumbai, Maharashtra and eastern Uttar Pradesh. Bad news now from the auto sector. The sector recorded the biggest slump in growth in 12 years. Car sales slumped and annualized 25.7% in February. Automakers sold 158,513 cars in India last month, according to the data from SIAM. Car sales were down 4.6% for the first 11 months of the fiscal year ending in March, SIAM said. High interest rate and a slowing economy is dragging the sales down in the sector. Showing its commitment to India, the World Bank said it will continue making investments in the country. The bank said it would invest $3 to $5 billion in India for the next 4 years. Investments would be focused on low-income states to help eradicate poverty and meet the challenges of urbanization. World Bank Group President Jim Yong Kim, who was on a visit to India, said that the bank would work closely with the government to address healthcare issues. Between 2009 and 2013, the World Bank lent around $26 billion to India through its various arms like the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, International Development Association and International Finance Corporation. Now for some news in brief. Beginning with politics, the cabinet has cleared a draft for anti-rape bill that proposes stringent punishment for crimes against women. The bill will now be discussed at an all-party meeting on Monday. The proposed legislation provides for a minimum jail term of 20 years for the rape that may be extended to the natural life of the convict in jail. It contains a provision for the death sentence if the victim dies or is left in a vegetative state after the assault. It is also replacing the term sexual assault with rape, making it gender-specific. On Monday, Italy refused to send back Italian Marines who were to stand trial for shooting 2 fishermen in February. According to Mint sources, moves are on to increase pressure on the Italian government to send back the Marines. The Supreme Court has also restrained the Italian ambassador, Daniel Mancini, from leaving the country. In fact, airports across the country have been alerted to prevent the Italian ambassador from leaving the country. The court has issued notices to the ambassador and Marines and asked them to file responses by the 18th of March. The government has fixed the floor price for the Nalco stake sale at 40 rupees per share. This is a discount of 9.6% to Thursday's price and 13.6% discount to Wednesday's closing price. The stake sale comes at a time when aluminium prices have been declining on the London Metal Exchange. The government plans to sell up to 10% stake in Nalco, which will earn a minimum of 1,031 crore rupees. That's all we have for you. Thanks for watching.